Good morning, gang. It's my. Let's grab our Bible. We're still in the life of Christ, and we're going to start in Matthew 27. Now, we've already talked a little bit about this chapter, so we're going to review the first two verses and then continue on with the story. When the morning was come, so Matthew 27, follow with me. When the morning was come, all the chief priests and elders of the people took counsel against Jesus to put him to death. Now, we talked about that already. All of the chief priests and elders wanted to kill Jesus. And when they had bound him, do you know what that means? They didn't have handcuffs back then, but they put ropes and bound him. They tied his wrists together, just like a common criminal. And they bound him and led him away and delivered him to Pontius Pilate, the governor. I want to remember that. Now we're going to skip down to verse 11 because the next few verses were about Judas. Well, we've already talked about that, so we're going to go to verse 11. And Jesus stood before the governor. Who was that? Pontius Pilate. And the governor asked him, saying, Art thou the king of the Jews? Now, do you remember that Caiaphas, the high priest, asked him the same thing? And Jesus said unto him, Thou sayest. You said it. I didn't. Almost exactly what was said to Caiaphas. And when he was accused of the chief priests and the elders, he answered nothing. He never defended himself. He didn't need to be defended. Kids, this is really important. You can never defend yourself. If somebody's going to say something bad about you, somebody's going to say something bad about you. It doesn't work to defend yourself. Jesus just stayed silent. And he answered nothing. Then said Pilate, who was the governor, unto him, Hearest thou not how many things they witness against thee? He's saying, don't you hear? They're all saying all of these horrible things about you. Don't you hear? Don't you have anything to say for yourself? And he answered him to never a word. He said nothing, insomuch that the governor marveled greatly. He just couldn't believe that Jesus wouldn't answer. Now at that feast, right then, there was a special, one of the many, many feasts of the Israelites was happening right then. Now at that feast, the governor was wont to release unto the people a prisoner whom they would. So at this feast, there was a thing that they did every time they had a feast. There would be, the governor would come out and say, okay, I'm going to pardon somebody today. Now, we have this in America. There are some states that have capital punishment where people will be put to death for their crimes. Usually it's because of murder, some horrible, horrible crime that they've done, and it's been proved, and the person really deserves to die. And so we have that. Well, at this feast, the governor could pardon whoever the people wanted. They could pick one prisoner, and that's who they would pardon. So this was happening right at this same time. So at the feast, the governor wanted to know who they wanted to have pardoned. And they had then a notable prisoner called Barabbas. Now, by notable, it meant he was a terrible person. Everybody knew he was a terrible person. He was a notable prisoner called Barabbas. Therefore, when they were gathered together, Pilate said unto them, So Pilate was thinking, okay, here we have Jesus. And Pilate knew he was innocent. Pilate knew that Jesus was not a criminal of any sort. And he knew that Barabbas was horrible. Oh, I'm sure the people won't want Barabbas, so I'm sure they'll let Jesus go free. And then Pilate wouldn't have to worry about it. That's what he was thinking. But it backfired. It says, So therefore, when they were gathered together, Pilate said unto them, Whom will ye that I release unto you? Barabbas? Or Jesus, which is called Christ? For he knew that for envy they had delivered him. They knew why Jesus was being persecuted. It was because people envied him, because they didn't understand, because they hated him, because Satan hates Jesus. So we're going to leave it right there and we're going to find out who they're going to choose, either Barabbas or Jesus. So I'll have to come up with a question. I hope you were listening. I love you. I hope you're having a great day. Remember, I love you. Don't ever forget that. Bye-bye.